Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Cathy and this is Skint Living UK. Today I wanted to talk about how and why the middle class are being squeezed out of existence, particularly the British middle class. I'm going to talk about today, and I might touch on other countries too. As the cost of living continues to rise, and it's not going to go away because the likes of billionaires and now a trillionaire are constantly taken from everybody. So the middle class, the British middle class, are beginning to feel the financial strain overall. If I keep looking, it's because I've wrote some notes. I'm sorry about that. In the past, many people have found the cost of living to be tough to navigate, but even now the middle class are feeling the pinch too. I don't know about you, but I remember the struggles of the 70s with the strikes and electricity being turned off. We'd sit in the dark regularly in the evenings because it was turned off because of strikes, lorry driver strikes. And remember food shortages. In the 80s we had the awful Thatcher years where she flogged off every UK asset. British Telecom, British Gas, electricity, water, which are basically monopolies because I live in Liverpool and the only water company is United Utilities, so I can't switch, so it's rubbish, it's a lie. And for decades now they've been running down the NHS because they want us to pay for private healthcare. So all the assets are being sold off, and we're still feeling the ramifications of this even now, really. Look at water, the water companies it's cheaper to dump sewage, pay the fine, than actually treat the water, which is disgusting because it's polluting the waterways and killing wildlife. But I digress. Across the world we all struggled in 2008 when the housing bubble burst. Many people lost their homes or ended up in a financial mess, and people to this day are still trying to recoup some of the money that they lost so long ago. But now it feels different, doesn't it? It feels worse in many ways. You just look down the high street, many businesses, small businesses have gone bust, or if they open they don't stay open for long, and even big businesses, big name businesses, have closed their doors for good. Do you remember Woolworths, whatever, I miss Woolworths. And then Wilkinson's became the new Woolworths. They went bust. Debenhams closed, complete Debenhams closed, running for over 100 years. And the recent casualty is Denby Pottery, who are in the throes of administration. Another quality brand down the toilet. In the States, well-known fast food outlets such as Wendy's are struggling too. But if you're struggling to pay overpriced rent and overpriced food or groceries, you haven't got the money to spend on fast food. And fast food used to be cheap. It was affordable and you could grab it anytime. But now even their prices are insane, and we all know it's just frozen food that they've reheated in a microwave or an oven. So it's nothing special, it's nothing fresh. It's processed to death and it's overpriced. So why would you pay for that? So everywhere across the world is feeling the pinch. Our UK high streets now, what do we see? Dodgy barbers, fast food joints is all burgers and kebabs, isn't it? Vape shops. A while back it was all charity shops, but they're disappearing now because they can't cope with the ever increasing rent bills. And the ones that are there, their prices are ridiculous. Many of them are just like, it's like, say they've had something donated from Asda or Primark or Temu, somewhere like that. It's dearer than it was originally, so why would you be buying that? There's more tact than ever in charity shops. I used to find the odd quality thing. I like buying thrifted clothes, but it's get ever increasing harder to find things made of natural materials. Everything is plastic, everything is polyester, nylon. There's no cotton, there's no wool, there's no real fabrics, there's no linen. So what about the middle class? In many ways, they were buffered from what was really going on in the world because they had lots of savings, high-paying job, and they were able to protect themselves from the effects of monetary shocks on the economy. But now they're feeling the pinch too. So here are 10 reasons why they're being squeezed out. Before I get into it, many media outlets say the middle class will be a thing of the past. That's because the elites, these millionaires, mega millionaires, billionaires and our trillionaire, don't want the middle class. They just want them, the elite, and everyone else to be destitute, and they want us to work to death and extract every single penny they possibly can out of us, because we won't own everything. We will have to pay for every service, every product, and the products that we do buy are poor quality, high price. So here are the 10 things. Number 1, private education. That's always been like the bedrock of being middle class, isn't it? They pay for their children to be private educated. Either they're sent away and boarded, or they go to a local one, probably in primary school, and then they hope to apply for grants and things, whatever, so that they can have their high school, secondary school paid for on a grant or whatever, if they can manage to get through. But now they're being taxed now. They don't like being taxed, do they? Some smaller private schools have closed because of the tax situations, because people can't afford to pay the extra little bit. But the big ones are still going, aren't they? They're not really feeling the pinch. So the ones who are really higher up can afford it, because it doesn't mean nothing to them paying 35,000 a year. Whereas if you're middle class and say you're on 100 grand a year, that's a big chunk out of your money, isn't it? Number 2, on a similar vein, is higher education. I think everybody is asking this question: is it really worth the money anymore? Paying 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,000 pounds a year to go to university, and there's no guarantee of a job out there. There's the biggest number of graduates out there now who can't find work, so the student loans are crippling them. So if they do get a job at the end of it, which is highly unlikely, they saddle with this debt for decades. I'm 59 and I had 5 student loans because I did 2 postgrads, and my last student loan is still ticking, it's still going, and I'm like, I'm 60 nearly, and I'm still paying student loans. So it's a lifetime of debt, plus the quality is not as good as it used to be, the teaching, and you're paying all that money to just saddle yourself, and that stops them from buying a home, because they're still, or if they do get a good job, a big chunk of it's going to student loans. Number 3, private healthcare. This used to be another bedrock thing for the middle class. The NHS is a marvellous institution. Free healthcare, as far as I'm concerned, is a human right. But it's been underfunded for decades, and the likes of reform and all that want it all to be privatised. So we're paying for it twice. We pay for it in our taxes, and they want you to pay for it directly out of your remainder of your wages. So if you're struggling to pay all these different things, money going out everywhere, private healthcare might be unaffordable now, or if they do it where it's like health insurance, as we all know, all different types of insurances have gone through the roof since COVID. Another mainstay of the middle class is having multiple cars. A car for papa and mama, maybe an older child, 2, 3 cars. The price of cars now are, even second hand, are ridiculously expensive. And as I said, the insurance is mad, and now because of all the boards everywhere, the price of fuel is mad, and there's less and less people to go to get it repaired, because everything's all microchipped, so you've got to go to specialist dealers to get it fixed, and they charge an absolute fortune to fix your car, whereas before you could go to a little local garage and they'd fix something for a few quid and that'll be done. So multiple cars also have taken a bite as well. Talking of being very expensive, and this impacts everybody, is childcare. the cost of sending one child to childcare is expensive. But if you've got 2 or more, it's absolutely crippling. A lot of middle class people, higher middle class people, would have a nanny or an au pair. But that's still a lot of money, and you have that person probably living in your home, so it's a bit invasive. I was a teacher 20 years ago, and then it was considered a good wage. Over 20 years now, well over. And after paying my mortgage and childcare for 2 children, because I had a little baby and a child in school, but they needed before and after school care, childcare. So I ended up doing multiple side hustles, side jobs, just to keep us going. And I was literally burnt out and ended up in hospital. But even with 2 parents these days, it's unaffordable childcare. The thing is, if the parents, the second parent, the mum, usually goes part-time or packs in work, it still has a big impact on the finances, because you these days you need 2 incomes to run a household. Another thing that has a big hit is savings and retirement funds. The middle class now are sort of downgrading maybe their pension contributions, because they're sort of putting it off, because their outgoings are too expensive, and they're relying on a family inheritance, or such as the parents or the grandparents popping the clogs and they inherit the house. So they're banking on literally the boomers and the silent generation to bail them out. Hello, honey, my cat there. And so if you've got lots of things going out, the savings are dwindled or non-existent. And they're used to having that buffer, whereas a lot of working class people don't have a bean. They don't have 2 pennies to rub together often. Next one, house renovations. So we see all these videos now of all these pretty houses, online houses, and they've had extensions and they've been renovated, and they're in locations such as London or the Cotswolds for some reason. And oh, look at my cottage, but it's not a cottage, it's a mansion. You can see it's double fronted, and they've got loads of land front and back. That's not a cottage. Is there cottages like that? And they've got 1 bedroom and 1 living room. But their idea of a cottage to most people is a mansion. Oh, it's only got 8 bedrooms. We've only got 4 acres of land. Yeah. So that's sort of so the upper middle class can still afford it, but the regular middle class can't afford that, because it's just being outpriced. It's unaffordable. So many are looking further afield to get more bang for the buck. So they're coming up north. They're coming to the likes of Manchester and wherever. Liverpool's been really buoyant. The housing market's been buoyant in Manchester and Liverpool, that sort of thing, on the northwest coast. Not so much on the northeast coast. I don't know why. They're just looking for a bigger place for the money, which I don't blame them for, really. I've touched on insurance, so it's car insurance, house insurance, people insurance. So people are basically downgraded their insurance, and they've got a very high deductible. So it's the first £500 you've got to pay. So it's basically not worth having it in the first place. Tech companies now, yeah, I think they're beginning to feel the bite on their profits, aren't they? They keep coming out with say a new iPhone or a new tablet. It looks different, might be a different colour, or the camera's in a different place or something, or they've turned it back to a flip phone like we had 30 years ago. And basically the functionality hasn't really changed that much. They might add 1 new gadget to it or something, but they're expecting you to pay £1,000, £1,500, £1,800 for it. So people aren't falling for it anymore. Plus it's rubbish, you can't repair it. A lot of people now want to be able to repair items, don't they? Oh yeah, holidays and cultural experiences. Yeah, we went to this place to experience this. We went to, I don't know, we sailed all around the Caribbean, something like that, and then they brag about it at dinner parties with Tarquin and Tabitha, or at work. I think now, because things are so expensive, they've sort of cut back on that, and now it's all about experiences, because their ever-depleting finances can't cope with it. And many people are doing staycations, or They're going to an Airbnb. Oh, look at this house we stayed at. We paid £1,000 to stay in this house for 2 days. Well, I wouldn't be bragging about it. I'd be ashamed. Got ripped off. And the biggest one of all is obviously housing. Like I touched on before, I think the house prices are escalating because of these private companies coming in and buying everything and then charging people extortionate rents to live there, and it always goes up in price every single year. And they come up with fees and charges for anything. A Tuesday fee, your breathing fee. Oh, you haven't done whatever, you haven't cleaned this thing or done this thing or whatever it is they expect you to do, fee. So yeah, these big companies have got a lot to answer for, but again, it's the elites, isn't it? The billionaires. They want to own everything and they want you to basically rent everything, and in the meantime they're squeezing the middle class out of existence. So it's just, you're either an elite or you're not. You're either up there or you're on the ground and you're not worth the time of day. So let me know if you can think of any other things too. I think it's a really interesting topic, because basically they don't want people to improve their situation. Like me, I'm working class. I went to uni, I became a teacher, bought my home. I broke generational poverty. First person in my family to do all of that, and it wouldn't have happened if I hadn't have done all those things. But they wanted to go back to the days where you don't have any opportunities to do anything apart from pay them more money. Bad, doesn't it? But or should I say, ever increasing money. So please like, share and subscribe. Sorry for being a Debbie Downer. Hope to see you soon, and bye for now.